To it is Harold Harris, who had been manager of BA Cannery in Port Essington, which was an ABC, Anglo British Columbia cannery. Either when BA shut down or sometime just prior, Harold Harris was made manager of North Pacific Cannery, and he was the manager up until Ole Phillipson took over. Well, in any event, he and his wife lived on Galiano Island, and there was quite a connection of people from Galiano that he hired. My dad being one, who was a lineman. Bill and Lil Campbell, who were the storekeepers, came from Galiano. Crawford Twiss and his wife, known up here. He as Twisso, she as Twissy. Crawford was the oil man for many, many years. He came from Galiano Island. Frank Pochin, one of the accountants, came from Galiano. And another family that became quite prominent in this country came from Galiano was the Kenny Hardy family. And Kenny Hardy was the net boss here. Now, he didn't, after 2 or 3 years, return to Galiano. He went to work for the pile driving company in Prince Rupert and stayed here. And his daughter, who was brought up here, is probably the best known kid who was brought up here. It was Iona Campagnolo, who became Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. But in any event, there was quite a Galiano connection, and there's probably a few other names of guys who were here for short periods of time. But in the wintertime on Galiano, there was sort of this expat group of North Pacific Cannery people who lived there. Bill and Lil storekeepers actually moved to Galiano after getting to know the Galiano folk here. But nevertheless, they lived for Galiano for many years. So Galiano had a population of around 200 people when I lived there. So come April, there was a bit of an exodus of people from Galiano to NP. And I'm just not so sure that's ever been brought into the history of the cannery, and I realize it's somewhat of a small point, but I did want to talk to that.